Welcome to DZTV, the Detroit Zoo's virtual vitamin Z news for the week. I'm your co-host Claire, and this is the week of July 20th, 2020.
And I'm your co-host, Stephen. Let's get started with some Detroit Zoological Society updates. Great news for those of you who love prairie dogs as much as I do. The back half of the prairie dog pathway is reopened for one-way traffic, which means that you'll be able to see the prairie dogs and their humorous antics from several different angles this week.
You know, I did hear that those the prairie dog bubbles were still closed, and as a parent who once had to extract a child out of them, I have mixed emotions about that, Stephen. It was not easy getting in and out of there as an adult.
I've heard that they're pretty fun, but I can imagine it's pretty difficult when you need to crawl up there yourself, knowing that they're designed really for kids.
Definitely a child-only experience. In other very exciting news, we had a new baby snow monkey born on June 3rd while the zoo was closed. Baby June, which means pure in Japanese, brings the troop total to 10. There's a couple quick little photos and videos here of baby June and her mom Carmen. An interesting fact, Stephen, snow monkeys have actually been the subjects of one of the longest running field research programs in primatology and were the first non-human primate species for which culture was scientifically documented, meaning that their learned behaviors are passed down from generation to generation, which we used to think was just something that happened with humans.
That's pretty amazing. I'd heard of that research, but I always thought the chimpanzees were the first species. So that's pretty awesome. Another really great reason to appreciate and celebrate these snow monkeys.
Agreed. All right, Stephen, to you for the Animal Live Cam Plays of the Week.
All right, let's go ahead and roll the footage.
Here we go. It's the Animal Live Cam Plays of the Week. And a new week means new sport. Starting off at number 3 with Wolverine Trail Running. Now, over on the left side of the screen, this may be Yarrow, this may be Janice, but watch what they do. This is a very complex course. So going around the tree and then through that little meadow there, touching the log, going back around the top tree. So the fact that they're able to remember the entire course is pretty impressive in and of itself. Also impressive is the agility you see here. Lots of stopping and starting, and Wolverines might not be the most graceful looking animal, but look at the way that he moves around. This is pretty graceful. Gets lost behind that rocky outcropping for a sec, comes back around, goes back, another pivot, great pivot, goes towards the larger rock, around the tree, around the fallen log, jumps over the fallen log, comes back, jumps over the fallen log again, and finishes off. Great job. Moving on to number 2. Number 2 is an obscure sport, aardvark swimming. And now this could be Katie, it could be Roxanne, could be Rachel, it could be Baji. But they are going to be doing some impressive swimming. Right now they're in this little pool in their habitat, and shoot, I think this might be the wrong footage again, Claire. I'm sorry about that. Let's move on to an alternate number 2. Alternate number 2, we're going to go back to the Holden Reptile Conservation Center for some more reptile hide-and-go-seek. Starting off in the yellow-spotted, side-necked turtle habitat, that's a bit of a mouthful to say, we're looking for 2 turtles here. Can you spot them? That's right, there they are, and then there is one turtle-like rock is a bit of a distraction. Next up is the West African Gaboon Viper in this naturalistic habitat. Can you find the Gaboon Viper here? Pretty well concealed. That's right, that's not a leaf, that's a viper, so don't pick up that leaf. And finally, moving on to the Chinese alligator habitat. Which of these are logs and which of these is a Chinese alligator? That's right, that's not a log there, that's a Chinese alligator, so be careful. Moving on, we have a new section. Instead of our honorable mentions, we're going to be moving to a Caption This contest, photo credits by Tom Roy. So if you can think of a caption for the images that we show, feel free to submit them. Here's an example. A caption for this one is High 10, picture of these 2 prairie dog pups. And here's the picture that we want your captions for. If you have an idea, go ahead and submit those captions to education@dzs.org, and we will feature the top captions in another episode of DZTV in the Animal Live Cams. Moving on to number 1. Number 1 is one of my favorite sports with one of my favorite animals, prairie dog digging, and we're going to be focusing on this contender right in the center. He's going to get started digging with his front paws, which is great, but then look at the way he gets the extension with those back paws, hitting that dirt up way in the air. Now there's going to be another prairie dog who wants to get in on this contest, but the first prairie dog says, you know what, I appreciate it, but I can do this one on my own. And watch that. Look at the arc on that dirt. Pretty amazing. Doesn't get distracted, though. Sees that there's a jump yip going on and follows his role in the pack by doing the jump yip with everybody else, and then moves back on to digging. Another great job of getting the dirt way up in the air with that arc. Seems to have dug out one of his family members, so moves around while that family member gets out. Does some more digging from a new angle. We can see his front paws going, and then turns around and will actually get all the way inside this hole. And if you didn't know what was going on here, it might look a little bit funny to see some dirt flying out of the air like that. Pretty amazing, Claire, huh?
All right, back to you for the feature story, Claire.
All right, this week we are featuring our Detroit Zoo Zooper Heroes who are helping keep our community safe. And we've received a whole bunch of pictures from our zoo guests who have been visiting the zoo over the last about week and a half, who've been wearing their masks to ensure they keep themselves, their families, and our community safe. Here's a couple highlights from the photos that have come through. This photo was sent in by Caitlin Long, and you can see the axolotl making a guest experience in the back. Would you consider that a photo bomb, Stephen, or just a socially distanced profile?
It's one of the more creative photo bombs I've seen, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, the look of, I mean, even the axolotl's in on the face mask wearing there, you can tell in the background. That's got to be custom made. Next up, a view just as high as the giraffe here from this picture who was sent in by Tracy Uden. The giraffe is grazing in the background, and this youngster is enjoying the view. This is, I believe this is Jane, the 2-year-old chimpanzee who's living in the chimpanzee troop, and this picture was sent in by Stacy. I like the unicorns on that mask.
It's a great mask.
A little bit of magic in there. This one was sent in by Kristen, really getting into the hop with us at Amphibiville out in front of the photo op out front, both with their masks on and doing a great job of imitating how frogs would be hopping from lily pad to lily pad. And our last photo from the week is the iconic Rackham Fountain photo that I believe every family has taken at some point during their visit to the Detroit Zoo. And you can see May has sent in this photo of their family as they visited recently. Great photo.
You know, Claire, they say this, and I think it's really true here. Not all heroes wear capes. Some of them wear masks.
So true, so true. Stephen, over to you for the virtual education program preview.
All right, starting off Monday, July 20th at 11 a.m., this is DZTV with Claire and Stephen. Next up at 4 p.m., Erin from the Belle Isle Nature Center will be talking about life under a log.
On Tuesday, July 21st, we're going to start off the morning at 11 with Akila with Math in the Garden. And Stephen, you'll be back at 4 p.m. on Tuesday with Being a Nature Detective.
I will. Then on Wednesday at 11 a.m., Claire, you will be back talking about pollinator gardens. And then finally at 4 p.m., David, our storyteller, will be telling the story of the greedy hyena.
Thursday morning, Stephen, we're back to you at 11 with the American bison. And Sandy continues her Monarch Mystery series, this time focusing on wings at 4 p.m.
Did you catch her last one on Instars?
I have to catch up on that one. I was actually, I was out of the office last week, and I'm looking forward to watching that this morning.
It was pretty cool. All right, 11 a.m. on Friday, Erin will be giving us a Belle Isle Nature Center update. And then finally, closing out the week at 4 o'clock, Zara will be talking about axolotls.
That was the mascot that we saw earlier in that mask photo, wasn't it? The axolotl?
It is, and if you're curious, feel free to ask a lot of questions about that one.
We have some breaking news in. We have breaking news. Let's check in with our senior humane education correspondent, Puppet McPuppetface. What do you have for us today?
Oh, thanks, Stephen and Claire. It's me, Puppet McPuppetface, and next week's summer virtual venture is going to be the Humane Club, where you get to take on the perspective of different animals that live in your own backyard. But instead of me speaking for them, let's listen to them right now. I'm Samuel J. Squirrel, and during the Humane Club, you're going to take on the perspective of seeing through the eyes of an animal like me. You'll use your 5 senses like sight and smell to get a better glimpse into the lives of animals in your own backyard. I'm Sir Hopsalop. You'll also do different activities that can help animals and the environment in your own neighborhood. I'm Parsimmon the Possum, and you will also explore your own natural space in your community to get more familiar with the natural green space that's around you. Wow, that sounds really neat. I hope I learn to see through the eyes of animals and build some empathy for local wildlife. Back to you, Stephen and Claire.
Wow, really, did you get such an impassioned breaking news report? Thank you, Puppet McPuppetface.
All right, for our weather report today, we go to the Detroit Zoological Society's communications manager, Alex. Alex, what's the weather like out there?
It's not bad out there.
Thanks, Alex. Back to you, Claire.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in this week for DZTV. Remember to check out online DetroitZoo.org for a variety of different activities, live cameras into animal habitats. And remember, if you're coming out to visit us, bring your mask. Stay healthy, Detroit.
Bye.